right, you guys, welcome to another episode of All Elite with Keeks. I am here with a special guest. Is this your first time doing a show, a podcast show?
Yep, pretty much.
All right. It's his first time, y'all. So y'all know my rules in the chat. You guys, we respect all my guests on the show. You treat them with respect. Y'all already know the rules. If you're not respectful, you're gonna get up out of here. I do not tolerate disrespect in the comments. If you do not agree with people, what they're saying on the show, that is fine, but keep it respectful. Y'all already know. So treat him with respect. It's his first time on All Elite with Keek. So warm welcome, welcome. Thank you for, being on the show. I appreciate you joining me for today. It's been an interesting week, especially in AEW. Y'all know I got to get my notes out. Yes, today y'all are learning a little bit of some lucha today. I got to be informative a little bit today. Of course, I'm going to still be me with the jokey jokes, but yeah. So, Rich, since you knew, let the people, say a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself to the chat. More people will join in a little bit, and they probably watching via Twitter. Introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. I am Reggie, whatever y'all want to call me. I'm a mark for wrestling. I mean, I love AEW, as we know, So I am currently working on a show with Body Slam, so be on the lookout for that. Other than that, that's just it.
All right, now. Shout out to Body Slam. Shout out to them boys. Hey, y'all. Hey, Marty. Hey, Mihu. That's my regular Omari. Hey, everybody. Hey. So today, we're going to go over Dynamite, Collision, of course, Rampage, of course, Women Business. And also, we're going to get in a little bit of CMLL. As you can see behind me, I have the late great El Santo behind me, legendary. He's protecting me today. I'm just going to give you a brief lesson on CMLL. But I suggest everybody to follow Lucha Blog. He is the best informative person about Lucha Libre. Okay, so make sure y'all follow him. But I'm gonna give like the brief rundown to AEW fans because I know people don't like, it's too much. Sometimes it's too much to process. And sometimes you gotta explain things like a fifth grader. Sometimes you gotta explain things. Because some people learning processes are different. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit into that. So get your pens and papers out because obviously CMLL is part of the Forbidden Door. Okay. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna pop it off for the opening of both Dynamite and Collision. If you are new here, how I do it, it's like this because it's so much wrestling in AEW. It's so much to talk about. So this is the fastest way. We're gonna get into it though. The Dynamite opening, of course, it was Jon Moxley versus Jeff Hardy, and then on Collision, it was Eddie Kingston versus Brian Keith. And then, of course, the opening for Dynamite, they're both good openers. Jon Moxley versus Jeff Hardy. Again, we've been saying that
I
Jeff
agree.
Hardy has been, yes, he's been wrestling. Jeff Hardy has been wrestling like he is falling back in love with wrestling again. And we have been seeing it. We have been seeing his aggressive side. We've been seeing a little bit of his TNA side in AEW since he's been wrestling a little bit solo. Jon Moxley is gonna Jon Moxley. What did you think about this match, Reg, with Jon Moxley and Jeff Hardy?
Hey, like I said, once Jeff leaves Matt, it's bro be starting to cook. I'm telling you, that nigga, he be starting to cook now. Like he's been perfect. Like I don't know what it is, but like when he's tagging with Matt, don't get me wrong, I love the Hardys. I've been a fan of the Hardys since the Attitude Era. But like when he's just by himself, he can cook. His heel character starting to show. I think I want it to lead to him turning fully heel, probably
Mm,
getting back to that broken universe type ish. And once
yeah,
again, John Moxley, he's God. Like I love when he wrestles and he's looking in damn good shape. Like that, it's crazy how far John Moxley and Jeff Hardy has come. That match
yeah.
was extremely good.
And both of their, they have similar. stories as far as like their personal lives, having to get help on, with the alcoholism and things like that. So the parallels are there, and they overcame their demons. Um, it was very, poetic in a sense, even though, it was a random booking, but in a sense it was still like they're facing each other, fighting each other, and within each other. So it was a great match overall between the two, a great opener. And then at the end of the match, Jeff Hardy, he, boy, F you, I don't want to shake your hand. And I like that. And I think Moxley liked it too.
He was shocked. He was like, "Wait, what?" I think it's leading to somewhere. I don't know. I think it's leading to somewhere with John Moxley because I think he's in a match every single week, and he's
Hmm.
doing this. I don't know.
Right,
They might
right.
make it
You
rain at Revolution. I don't know.
right. Pretty much. And then the opening for Collision, of course, again, it was Eddie Kingston versus Brian Keith. Another great opening match for Collision. It was strong style brawl match between the two. It was very, very physical. It was very, very technical. Well, not very technical, but more physical than technical. Of course, with the physicality of Brian Keith, his strong defenses, and Eddie Kingston's strong offensive. It was great. I loved it, and I want to see Brian Keith in the tournament, or the tournament soon when they do it again. I want to see him in the tournament, and Eddie Kingston just keeps showing the world why he is the champion, why he won the tournament.
Listen, I don't care
Did you
what
enjoy this
anybody
as
say,
well?
and look at me clearly. F all y'all who don't like Eddie Kingston. That man is a damn good wrestler. That man can work his ass off. But when it comes to Bryan Danielson, I can't say nothing about that because I'm a big Bryan Danielson fan. So
Yes, yes. And of course, the ending of the match between Eddie Kingston and Brian Keith, um, Tony Schiavone, I'm sorry. He ended up giving the good news to Brian Keith. Brian Keith is officially All Elite Wrestling. So congrats to Brian Keith. It was everything. I've been knowing Brian Keith for a while. I've been one of his sponsors for a long time in the Texas Indies. It was just surreal feeling. He worked his way. He's a very humble person. He's very cool. And he's just been grinding. He hasn't been wrestling for a long time. He's been wrestling probably almost, I want to say, a good 4 years. And he is All Elite. He trained with Booker T, and a testament to Booker T. He probably has one of the best wrestling schools, in my opinion. He's a good trainer. Some people that are wrestlers that end up training are not good trainers, but Booker T is probably one of those I can say is a good trainer. Testament to Brian Keith. And also he has Roxanne that's in NXT. So yeah, shout out to Brian Keith. He's all elite. You can do a lot with him. You always want to make sure the mid card division. I know, eventually he will be that top star, but right now in AEW, you always want to make sure the bread and butter part with the top stars makes, because that's what makes AEW AEW. You still want to make sure the mid card is strong. So he will make a great addition to that. You got to keep your burgers stacked. That's what I say all the time. You got to keep the stack in order for it to make a good show. So let's not be like, oh, I need him to be no. Keep him, keep him at that mid card and have him like chasing. I see him at the international belt. And so like, because he did do a show in Japan and he did come back from Japan. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in that division for now until we get him right to where he does end up being like a top star.
and it's crazy because honestly, I've never seen a Brian Keith match outside of Ring of Honor or AEW. And when I saw him and he came out the steel tipping, I was impressed. Like I literally was impressed when I first saw him in ROH. Like I have never seen him anywhere else. Like I've heard of him, and then I was impressed with his match. every match he'd had, the Four Corners match, or it was the Four Corner Survival match he had in ROH. I was
Mhm.
generally impressed with him, and I'm on Black History Month. I'm proud of my brother. I am.
Go ahead. One second. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I do agree with you saying they do need to have a mid card. Everybody that's signed to AEW does not automatically need to go to the main event. It's how you build your career is how you get to the main event.
Mhm.
AKA look at Danny Garcia. He's literally building his name, doing a little dance, he has main event presence, and they're slowly building that up. It's how
Right.
you build your career is how that career is going to go. I tell my little brother that, because he's in the other company. I love him though. I'm always gonna
Okay.
give him hell about that.
Right. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next match. The second match that happened on both Dynamite and Collision, it was Hangman Adam Page versus Tyoa Liana, and also on Collision, it was Herchicero versus Brian Danielson. Another great match on both cards. Adam Page versus Tyoa. I'm sorry, keep saying his name wrong. He was great. He stood out in this match. Like I keep saying all the time, when they came back from Japan, when they was part of the tag tournament in Japan, and they came back to AW, him and Khan has been great. Like great. I saw people were saying like that's what they wanted Solo to be. It's crazy.
I mean,
It
I
is
agree.
crazy.
Magnum, I almost called him Hangman, because he looked like Magnum TA. Hangman and Toa has been killing it. Like, I love
Mm,
Hangman's progression, even though it's going to be different business when we come
yeah.
Wednesday. Uh, but I love that match. I really love that match. Like, Toa showed out.
So it was on a different level. Like you kind of saw a little bit of young Umaga a little bit in
Hmm.
this match. That's exactly what you saw. Like he was, it's like his power style. He was, his offenses, his counters with Adam Page. At first, it was a little bit like it started off a little bit and then they picked it up quick. Like you couldn't
That's what I
even
like.
dwell on the rough start because they picked it up real quick. I love it. I want to see more of Tyra. Like I want to see more singles. Or, if they remain attacked, because Khan has picked up his wrestling ability too. So I want to see more. I wouldn't mind seeing him in a tournament.
I'm about to say, Khan is good Lord. That's one blessed brother. Let me just say that. That's one blessed
Yeah.
brother. Nah, I agree, Amari. Both bangers.
Bangers, just both. And then Collision, you had Brian Danielson versus the Alchemist Hechicero. He came out bending fire. The interest was fire. It was great. Like he meant business, and he was just showing that luchadors is more than just flips, more than just stunts. Like their technical matches is like if you don't know how to pick, like Brian Danielson at first, if you paid attention, he was having a hard time kind of keeping up with his rhythm, but he instantly learn to adapt. That's what made Brian Danielson because he knows how to adapt so fast to
When has
somebody
he ever
else's
missed?
technique. And
That's all I want to know. When has he ever missed in a match? Brian Danielson is like, when it comes to wrestling tier, Brian Danielson is there. He's never missed. I just honestly, I can't name a bad Brian Danielson match. I can name a bad Daniel Bryan match. That's something different.
very
But he's
different.
never.
Like Right. And Hechicero was like, you know, he showed the world, like he was just letting it be known, like this is CMLL. Especially if you new to it, he was just like, you know, this is CMLL.
I was about to.
So I
Yeah, I've never
I
seen
love it.
Hachicero match. I'm honest. I'm being honest. I only knew Mystico out of that, but I was very intrigued of how he would mesh with a technical savage like Brian, and obviously they never
Hmm.
disappoint.
Yes. Like I said, if you in the comments, Lucha Blog is the perfect person to follow. He was posting different matches that you could check out of Hechicero if you never seen him wrestle before, or if your first time was seeing him wrestle was Brian against Brian Danielson. And you also, if you want to see some CMLL also on YouTube, I think because you have to pay or something like that. I saw him tweet. So just follow Lucha Blog. He was posting the matches, but yes, Hichisaro was very, very great. He's a great technical, Lucha technical wrestling. Because technical style and Joshi technical style, as you can see, was completely different. Especially to American, like you have to have a little bit of flexibility. And with Lucha Libre, I always say they tell a story, and the stories is always with their character, with their gimmick. Hichisaro is basically, he's an alchemist. He's the mad scientist. So some of the stuff that you were seeing in the ring, it reflects the character who he is, which I'll get into further down when I get into the main topic. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next match. I don't want to keep talking about it, but let's move on. Um, Next up, it was two fillers. It wasn't on the card, but we got it. It was the first one. It was Warlow versus Commander, and then also on Collision, Hook had he faced against Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. You know, they in that tag team that make fun of the '80s, the Outland.
The Outrunners. I love
Outrunners. Yeah, I say Outlanders, the Outrunners. And they both, of course, it wasn't a long match. Again, it was a filler, squash matches. Now, I don't know if they confirmed or not if Warlow did injure his knee. He looked like he did injure himself, but they are saying that it's supposed to go with the story, quote unquote.
I'm still trying to figure out like what
Yeah,
is
I'm
the
trying to
story
figure that
going
out.
on? Like where is this leading to? Granted, I'm okay with the squashes, but I'm like, okay, what are we doing right now?
Yeah, it's like I think I know because it's more so because Adam Cole is hurt. Like I wish he never took that jump. Like if I was looking like, don't jump, don't do that, don't jump that, don't
I
do
said
it,
the same thing.
don't do it.
I thought he was faking the whole time though.
Nah,
Like,
he jumped in. Like I seen and I said, I think he messed up his ankle as soon as he did it because he kind of lifted. I'm like, oh.
I was like, oh, because I thought he was gonna win the wasn't he supposed to win the championship
Mm-hmm.
this year or last year?
Mm-hmm. They had to change it up because of that happened. So I guess we just have to wait out and see when Adam Cole gets better. But for now, this undisputed faction is it's not hitting like it should.
You ain't lying. You're not
It's
lying.
not hitting like it should. And then we can see that Hook, I guess it's supposed to be Hook versus Brian Cage down the line. Brian Cage wants to wrestle Hook, and they used to be in a faction together, Team Taz, at one point in time. So is he trying to get the FTW belt back? I don't know. We don't
That's
know.
what I'm
We don't
saying.
know where it's going
What
now.
are we doing with Hook? Like Hook, he had the momentum with Samoa Joe. Now what are we doing with him right now? Like is it secondly, why are we not making this FTW sanctioned title by AEW right now? I mean, I know they say, oh, we get too many titles. Shut up. No, we don't. We we need the FTW title to be sanctioned. So that gives somebody, some other of the mid card people, a title to fight for because
Well, from my
everybody's
understanding, it has something. I think it has to do with like some sort of negotiation with Paul Heyman, but
ooh,
I'm not necessarily sure how true that is. So I could see that
right.
like you know, he has to, and he probably can't because, his contract with the E and stuff like that. So it could be something in no, because ECW ROH, never mind.
It said Mihu said, nah, too many belts. All right, if we're saying too many belts, name all the AEW sanctioned belts that are sanctioned by AEW. The tag team, trios, TBS,
Mhm,
TNT,
mhm,
and the World Championship. That's it. We're not naming titles outside of AEW or that's
mhm.
associated with AEW. You got the Ring of
Right.
Honor, that's Ring of Honor. You got New Japan, that's New Japan. There are five belts, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
five belts.
because we could tell that they about to unify the trios belt, which that's the only
Exactly.
one that makes sense because the AEW division don't have much trios, but ROH does, so that kind of makes sense.
So we can't say there's too many belts. It's not too many belts. It's five belts. Stop counting ROH and in New Japan. AEW titles.
Right. And then this next match now, this was, I hated for him, but it ended up being a decent match. Chris Jericho versus Kyle Fletcher. Of course, Kyle Fletcher shined the most in this match, giving the things, you know, Chris Jericho is a stain right now with everything. We're not, that was my ex goat. That was my goat. So it hurted me to even call him my ex goat. That hurted so much because that was years of fandom. Like I was switching sides because of him. I wasn't following the promotion. I was following the wrestler. So I was just like, it hurts.
This is
They done kicked.
another. What are we
It
doing?
hurt
Like,
me.
what is this leading to? Because I'm
I don't
honest.
even think they know. It's I Jericho's focus is more of trying to put over Sammy Guevara, but he fails to realize that nobody cares about Sammy Guevara like that. It's like he's trying to legitimize Sammy Guevara because that is his protege, but it's just like,
Sammy's not fetch. He's trying to make
yeah,
fetch happen.
he's not that guy. Like it's it's not gonna happen.
I like Sammy, but I don't know why I don't like him. It's weird to say. I like him. I don't know. I just don't know why I don't like him.
David said Jericho don't know it's not. No, it's not. Okay, not really. He's just trying to put over Sammy, but it's just like we don't want him. We don't care anymore. Like we don't care. And then beautiful family, beautiful baby. Nothing against nothing against them. But now as you can see, he's trying to use. I have a daughter. I have a family. Like we don't care.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm honestly not with it. I'm over this storyline. I want Konosuke Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher. The match was good. I just want them to do something else. Do something else with the Don Callis family. And
Yes.
it's February 5th. 5 more days until a big free agent that signed with AEW not just a month ago is coming into the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Big
I'd
Billy.
rather them. I'd rather them like do something against Bullet Club Gold or something. I don't know. I just don't. I'm just sick of whatever this is. Like Don Callis, go home. Jericho, just get away for a little bit. Just go
Yeah,
away.
he needs to.
He gotta go away. I know he don't want to go home. It's obvious he don't want to go home. Like it's that is obvious. Like any man that just wants to work and don't want to go home to his wife, it's something going on. It's obvious he don't want to go home. So go somewhere
Amari,
else.
the storyline is for Takeshita to go. If he's trying to go over, then what are we doing? Once again, what are we doing? Like, if he's trying to go over, this is not it.
It's not it.
I'm honestly not interested in this Wednesday's match. I'm just not.
We don't, But Kyle Fletcher worked. I love me some Kyle Fletcher. Now I love Kyle Fletcher. He's young. He's definitely a future star for real, for real.
That boy can
But
go.
he can. He was cooking Jericho, for what it's worth. And I can give kudos. Jericho is good at keeping up with the newer talent in the ring. I can say that. I cannot take that away from him. I cannot take away, the wrestling abilities that he did have, especially in his prime. It's just, him as a person, is clouding what he was known for in my eyes, what I was a fan of and stuff like that. So just I don't know, just go on tour with your band or something. I don't know. So we ain't gonna spend too much time on that because yeah. Main events, main event, Dynamite, it was Swerve Strickland. Hangman picked the selection for his match, which was RVD. A lot of us knew it would be RVD because of the hints that Paige was saying in the promo. It ended up being RVD. Samoa Joe was on commentary. And then on AEW Collision, Christian Cage, his faction is called the Patriarchy. Not in society terms. If you don't want to, we ain't trying to get that mixed up with that. Not in society terms. Versus FTR and Daniel Garcia. Main events, I would say Dynamite's main event was better than the Collision main event, even though, the Collision's main event. Now, I said it on Twitter. I don't know. If you in the chat and just tell us. But how many times has FTR main event at a Collision? I feel like it's been a lot.
Almost every damn Collision.
I feel like it's been like 200 million times. That's like they always they have the most time in main event a Collision all the time. Like,
I mean, granted, they do be cooking. I'm not gonna lie, but they main event every damn main event, except
like
that one time
every
where they faced
main
FTR Bullet
event.
Club Gold.
Yeah.
Whew, I remember that match.
Every damn main event.
Nah, but yeah, that's like you said, that Swerve and RVD match cooked. I'm a huge fan of Swerve, so it's nothing new to me.
Definitely. And it was a hardcore match too. That is ECW down. ECW legend, so they had to do that. I love it. I love how they are. It's like they kind of alluding to, you could tell that they are pushing Swerve, like he is definitely going to be the star, the face of the company. They're trusting him with bets, and Adam Page, he won against Adam Page twice. He was in a tournament. And Samoa Joe did a great job putting over RVD, of course. He was acting like a little fanboy on commentary. It was fun. It added to what they got going on between Swerve, Samoa Joe, and Adam Page. I enjoyed the match. It wasn't too brutal because, you don't want to have too much blood. And of course, RVD is the age that he's in. It was enough. It was enough to make people, and stuff like that, but not too much brutality that we're used to seeing with Swerve, because the last hardcore type match was with Adam Page, and it was blood everywhere and stuff like that.
I agree.
I know you enjoyed the match.
I swerve when I die. Or wait, damn. And the whole damn thing. Nah, I'm always a big fan of Swerve. Swerve is just I'm like, we gotta get I know they want to make him the face of the company, but we gotta get through Wednesday. Wednesday will let you know if
Yeah,
I'm pissed off or if I'm happy. Because I'm gonna be pissed
yeah,
off if we lose. I'm gonna really be I
yeah.
don't want to go to Revolution because I'm going to Revolution and I don't want to see no damn Hangman versus no Samoa Joe.
Oh, well, we'll see Wednesday. So,
I feel like I'm gonna be mad, but I'm gonna let it.
yeah, that'll be something. And then on a Collision, of course, again, Patriarchy versus FTR and Daniel Garcia. The two people that stood out in this match was Nick Wayne and Daniel Garcia. Like they got to make that happen. They need to make that one-on-one happen. Nick Wayne was shining in this match.
I honestly, I don't want it to lead to, because it's still to me not a big enough of a match. Danny Garcia versus Christian Cage. That has to be like on a collision or something, because I think the
Yeah,
biggest match that goes to Revolution is Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage 3. Like at that, to me, I mean, that's me personally. I love Daniel Garcia, and he shined in that match. Nick Wayne did too. I'm a big fan of Nick Wayne, even though he
mm-hmm.
uses my little brother's finisher. But I'm a big fan of Nick Wayne. But like, I can't see a match. I can only see that Danny Garcia versus Christian Cage match on Collision or
Yeah, and I
Dynamite,
think that's
whatever you
what
want
they're
to do.
gonna go with anyway, because since the brackets have went well, the you know, um not the brackets,
The ranking system.
the rankings went the rankings came out and Edge is part of 1 through 5. So of course it's probably gonna lead to Christian versus Adam Copeland and Revolution. But I wouldn't mind seeing Daniel Garcia versus Nick Wayne probably pre-show, because I need to see that one-on-one, because the encounters that they did together, it stood out most of the match. Like I said, I'm FCR, they are good wrestlers. I'm just kind of tired of them, especially main events and all the time. Like they just got a main event. Christian Cage is Christian Cage. He is good. Luchasaurus, well, whatever. What do you call him? Kill shot?
Kill switch? Is it
Kill
kill shot
switch.
or kill switch?
I said kill switch. I love Luchasaurus. I don't like this kill switch name. I like Luchasaurus.
That whole
But
story way. So
yeah, so both main events, like I said, I like Dynamite's main event more than I did AEW Collision's main event. But Nick Wayne and Daniel Garcia they stood out the most, which is good because they're both young talent. That's what you want to do with your young talent. They stood out the most in this match, especially Nick Wayne. So kudos to Nick Wayne, main events and Collision. Also Daniel Garcia, he is revamping because 2023 was not a great year for Daniel Garcia, but it's picking up for him in 2024. I do like that Daddy Magic does commentary each time Daniel Garcia is having a match. It's kind of like he's watching his back against FCR too. Like, I know that you with them, but I don't trust them. You just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know they got you, but I gotta also watch them to make sure they doing their part. And I kind of like that touch, because that's also a story in itself.
I think they aren't they going for the trios title? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
We'll see. We'll see what they do with that. Okay, so we're gonna move on to Rampage. I'm just gonna go over Rampage. Y'all know how I do. Um, Rampage. It was Private Party versus Top Flight. Um, make Top Flight heel. If you're doing what I think you're gonna do, you might as well just make Top Flight heel at this point, because the crowd is with Private Party. So just make Top Flight heel, because, like I said, what they're doing with Private Party and Top Flight, they're building them to be the next tag team rivalries that we need in wrestling. So make Top Flight the heel. You don't need two, good baby faces. Make Top Flight heel, make Private Party the faces, so that way, it can start stepping up on what they're doing, because they're both now tied in their rivalry that they have going on. So moving on from that, Ricky Starks and Big Bill versus Dark Order. Ricky Starks and Big Bill takes the win on that, because Ricky Starks is facing Sting and also Darby Allin for the tag team championship that is coming up on Dynamite this Wednesday. And then the main event, because y'all know when business in there, Rampage, the main event, which was introducing the CMLL stars. It was Mystico Mascara, Dorando Hechiserio, Bellador Jr. versus Christopher Daniels, Master Doll, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hand Ag. Now, we all know, if it was not any beef between CMLL and Triple A, the showcasing of the four luchadors would have been a little bit better. Obviously, you can tell that not Mastodon and I'm not gonna put it past Christopher Daniels because he's a veteran. But Daddy Magic and also Cool had kind of struggled a little bit with Mascara and also Valador Jr. They was kind of struggling a little bit, but being that they can't be in the same ring with those guys, it would have been it would have been better if they fought against Penta, Commander, all of them. It would have been a big lucha fest on Friday, but they can't wrestle them. They can't be nowhere near each other. So it didn't happen, but it was a decent showcasing, just to show people who they are. Y'all should be familiar with two of them because they was in WWE, which I will talk about a little bit later on, okay? So moving on from that, I'll just give y'all a brief ROH recap on who won and who lost. Episode 49 on the ROH. Make sure you subscribe or pay that $9.99 to keep up with ROH because they do have pay-per-views, and you never know who will be in AEW and stuff like that. And especially if you're an indie wrestler, you can still be on ROH. Jerry Lynn issued a match between Johnny TV. He will face Dalton, a friend of Dalton Castle, next week. Angelico Serpentico, they defeated the Russell twins. Nyla Rose, she defeated Amy Camacho. Iron Savages defeated John Cruz. And also Braxton Hunter. Ethan Page, again, he's after the ROH Men's TV Championship, which is Kyle Fletcher. He has that championship, so he is coming for Kyle Fletcher for the belt. Dalton Castle defeated Aaron Solo. The ROH World Tag Team Championship match, the Undisputed, they defeated Fred Roser and Tom Lawler. Ethan Page defeated Slim J. Billy Stark, she defeated Killer Kate. The Righteous defeated the Infantry. I love the Righteous and the Infantry. I love them both. Queen Aminata, she defeated Raina Clark. Bad Dude Tito, he defeated Gringo Loco. The Four Corner Survivor match, it was Red Velvet. She ends up defeating Kiera Hogan, Diamante, and Trisha Dora. And in the men's Four Corner Survivor match, it was Lee Johnson. He takes his win against Blake Christian, Alexander, and Jack Cartwell. Again, I've been saying Lee Johnson has been, ROH has been good for him. He's been improving as a wrestler. They just trying to find a good character for him. But as far as his in-ring ability, he has been improving each time. So just be on the lookout for Lee Johnson. You won't be surprised if we see him in AEW as well on that main card. But ROH is good for him right now. He's building himself up.
Shout out to
him. Yeah, shout out to him.
I love Keith. Shout out my other brother, Griff Garrison.
Yes, Griff Garrison. Thank you. I am country and I love it and I can't help it. I'm a Texas girl all day, all through and through. Y'all should hear when Drip makes fun of me every time. Whatever he be saying to me, he do it all the time. All right, so women business time. Run my clip.
This is what you need to do. You need to stay out of women business.
You need to stay out of women business. Okay, women business time. On Dynamite, we had Deonna Purrazzo versus Taya Valkyrie. Toni Storm was on commentary. Very funny. Toni Storm is very funny. She's nasty too. She was saying some nasty stuff on commentary. She a freak. I just have to get that out of there because
big old freak. I'm telling you.
She was saying some stuff because it was that one part when Taya Valkyrie and Johnny TV was kissing and she was like, "Oh, it's getting warmer."
She was out of pocket the whole match.
She was out of pocket. Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie, they are good song and dance. They have defeated against each other for a long time, so we knew it was going to be a good match. And I was seeing people talking about we knew it wasn't Taya Valkyrie. I'm like, it was never Taya Valkyrie's fault when she had that match against Britt Baker. It was never her fault. Like, that wasn't even her.
I don't know. I love I love Deanna Purrazzo. She is just so amazing. Like I don't. Good Lord, I just love her.
She's so beautiful. Like I love her aura, her attire. Like she knows she's her, and I love that about her. And I like Taya Valkyrie too. She's a great veteran, especially in the women's division. Like I've always said, AEW needed that Natalie, and Taya was a good fit because she is a veteran. She's there, she's helping people. They talk about her in the locker room how she is very uplifting. She, if you need help on something, she's right there. Like, no, do it like this or stuff like that. That's why she's in ROH. She's helping the girls in ROH. So I love that match between the two. And then, of course, they confirmed that it will be Deanna Purrazzo versus Toni Storm at Revolution, which is March 3rd. So that's going to be a good match between those two. They are good friends. They used to be good friends. They have history with each other. They've trained together. So that's going to be a good match in women business. Also in Collision, we had again 2 women matches on the card. On Collision, it was Queen Aminata versus Serena Deeb, and then another good match between the two. Again, Queen Aminata, she is, she's taking it every opportunity, even if she's taking the L, she's still making her moments. The L's don't, it doesn't hinder her. And I keep reminding people she's doing that whole Sky Blue. That's the same way that they did Sky Blue before she started getting them wins. So Queen Aminata, when she gets her wins in AEW, it's gonna mean something. So we just gonna be patient. So stay there. Just stay there until the grind starts, okay?
He doesn't
Don't
know how to
turn
book
down.
the women's division. Shut up. Now he got 2 women's matches.
Need that grab. She's already been signed to AEW. Mihu. She was just injured. She was just injured. She was already signed. She was just injured. Yeah, she's already signed to AEW. She was just injured. That's why. Like she got injured like early on when they did sign her, I believe, on an indie match or something like that. But she was injured. She's already out elite.
She is
another match. It was no Mihu, shut up. Okay, we don't care about no graphic. We had Red Velvet versus Burden Vixen. Okay. Another showcase it for Red Velvet, even though it was a quote unquote squash match, but Red Velvet is getting prepared because she's facing Toni Storm, which is coming this Wednesday. So Red Velvet looked great. I love, the hair was laid and things like that. Shout out to Red Velvet. That's my girl too. I love her. She's aggressive. She's confident. She's happy. I love it.
In that TBS title hunt.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get to that in a second because I'm trying to figure out where the girl at. And then on Rampage, it was Willow Nightingale again versus Queen Aminata. Willow Nightingale took the dub, but it was a great, showcase in between the two ladies. We love Willow Nightingale. I love Queen Aminata, so it was good. It was good.
Her, Stokely, and Chris the
Stallion.
Boy, I love that whole storyline. That match was really good.
I do too. I love that. Stokely is. It's like he's trying to tear them apart. He wants Chris for himself, and he's trying to bring. It's like he's trying to turn Chris heel for her to chase that championship. We'll see though. We'll see. It's a good little story. Also, women business, I wanted to point out that Nick Wayne's mother, she is getting better at antagonizing the fans when she is with Christian. As if y'all was paying attention to the main event, she was, at first, you could tell she was a little nervous or she was trying to get used to it. But Saturday, she was antagonizing. She was saying stuff big, like she is finding her footing, being part of Christian's faction. So I wanted to point that out. That is part of women's business. She's amazing. She looks beautiful. Nick Wayne, your mother is mothering. Okay, she looks amazing.
Yep,
she looks amazing. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if Christian is real life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Did you notice that every show has its own woman's story?
mm-hmm.
They don't want to admit it though. You know, you see the
Yep.
people on Twitter, ain't got no story. Why this? Why that? Like, is y'all
Story be
niggas
in
really
their
watching?
face. And then another thing on women business, Julia Hart, ma'am, come on. I mean, you have the CBS Women's Champion. We where you been? We ain't had no match from you in like 3 weeks, baby. Where are you?
Hey, I think she might be injured. I don't know. This
Now,
TBS
well,
have been
get up off
non-existent.
that belt then. Get up
That's
off that belt.
what I'm saying. Cause
Chris
give it to
Stallion,
Red Velvet.
Chris the Stallion worked too hard to add that prestige back to that belt for you to be holding it now. Because that was the problem that we had with the other person that's at a WWE now. Okay, that we don't come on now. Where you at now? Come on.
He said, "Missing person, Julia Hart, small blonde goth girl."
Where is the missing Julia? Where are you, baby? I mean, we saw you with House of Black, but we need to see you in that ring. That's what we need to see. We need to see you in that ring defending that belt. Okay. I mean,
I agree. I totally agree. Like, if you're not gonna be in a ring, just drop the damn title. Because
yeah. Come
I
on,
got yeah.
Don't mess up the momentum that the AEW women business is on right now. It's starting off good. We don't need you. Oh, they doing fine. I'm just gonna chill right now. We need you in the booth. Get back in the booth, okay? I bet she gets something. And if she do good, I'm be like, well, they must have heard me say something.
I don't want no random ass matches either.
Yeah,
Put
we
her
don't
in
need no
matches
random
before.
matches. We need something.
Give
Give me
a
something.
thick Thunder Rosa or somebody.
Yeah, something because all of this here, just sitting down or whatever. I know you with the House of Black, but we need to focus. You got the belt. If you want to be with the House of Black, give somebody else the belt, okay? And we can move on from there. Okay. We don't need none of that. We don't need the slackings. I think that would be a good person to have the belt. Give it to Thunder Rosa. She'll do something with it. We don't need none of this. Okay. Like the first week, I was like, okay, she got married. All right. She probably on her honeymoon. Let her be on her honeymoon. But then Lee Johnson is wrestling and you ain't. So I'm just like, okay, ain't no honeymoon, nothing. So what's going on?
I'm
I don't know.
I'm perfectly fine. Somebody she can drop the title with somebody that making a little money. But
No, not a TBS championship. That's
right,
the AEW women's champion right there. That's not a
that's big
TBS.
women business.
Yeah. All right, so that's all the reviews for the matches. So we gonna get your pens out, get your papers out. We're gonna get into the main topic. The title of the show is, of course, is CMLL is knocking doors, dying, not down, dying. Okay, because that's the Texas saying, dying. We don't say down, we say
I
die.
done came down.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. All right. So as they announced, it was the stars of CMLL is coming to AEW. It was also announced that Rocky Romero is working on a possible that they will be part of the Forbidden Door, which is good news. Wednesday and Saturday, of course, was the first time a lot of people saw these four. They did kind of like an invasion angle. They attacked John Moxley. They came in strong. They came in as a threat. Like you could tell that they are serious business. But some people are not too familiar with CMLL. CMLL is probably one of the oldest wrestling promotions ever. They used to be EMLL before they turned to CMLL. EMLL have been around since 1863, and then they were CMLL by 1933. So they have been around for a very, 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 very long time. Founded by Mr. Salvador Gonzalez. Okay. So the history, and of course, he was part of the Mexican Revolution. He is a war hero that started CMLL, but it was EMLL at the time. Okay, so now the first person, Mystico, of course, but if you know him, he used to be Sin Cara in WWE. That's why he looks familiar to a lot of you. He was, of course, in WWE. He is Sin Cara, but he's been in CMLL. He was there from 2004, then, of course, until 2011, because around 2011, that's when he was with WWE. And then he left WWE in 2014. And then that's when he did shows in AAA. Around that time, he was there for a year, and then he returned back to CMLL around 2015. And then also another luchador that was in WWE as well. He was the Great Metallic. He was part of the Lucha House Party, which was Mascara Dorada. That he was also in WWE from 2016 to I believe it was 2021. But he used to wrestle at CMLL. He was there since 2005 until 2016. And he also was in New Japan as well. In between that time, he had some matches in New Japan. And then after WWE, of course, he did some Mexico Indies. And then he went back to CMLL. So those two y'all should be familiar with because they were in WWE at the time. I know Sin Cara was known for that tables and ladders spot that he did in the TLC match at the pay-per-view that he did. People usually post it every now and then, but he was known for that one spot that he did over the ladder, and the ladder kind of broke in half. Yes, against the Usos. Yes. If y'all are familiar with that spot, that was him. Y'all have to kind of run it back.
Unless he clear, this is the first original Sin Cara, not the little ones that when they made Hunico Sin Cara and shit. This is original Mystico.
Yeah, you have to kind of, if you don't remember, just kind of run back WWE at that time because they wasn't booked like they should have been. That's why they was let go and things like that. But those two were in WWE. Now, Hechicero, again, the Alchemist, he's a local talent in Mexico. He's been in the Indies. He's been wrestling since 2001. CMLL signed him in 2014. He is the former world champion at CMLL. So he is very, prestige. He, as you can see, he wrestled against Bryan Danielson. And then, of course, you got the famous Velado Jr. Now, Velado Jr., he comes from a great, great family. Y'all are familiar with his family. He is the son of Super Parker. He is the nephew of the original La Parka, L.A. Parker. Y'all know who he is. Y'all know who he is. That is his uncle. His cousin, of course, is L.A. Park. And he is the uncle to Flyer. Flyer is up and coming. He's young. So his family, and he's the guy that doesn't have the mask. That is Velado Jr. So y'all know his family. Y'all know what he is about. He is one of the ones. He has basically, I want to say he is like the CMLL Grand Slam because he has had every championship at CMLL. He is definitely a top star in Mexico and also at CMLL. He comes from a great family. He is, of course, he's part of the Parkas. So he's been in TNA. He's made an appearance in TNA. He has been in New Japan. He's been in Ring of Honor. And, of course, he is always in CMLL. He is one of the CMLLs. If you could compare him to American wrestler, I would say he is like, what would be a good description of him? I would say, he is like, I don't want to say a John Cena. I would say I
We
want
talking, we
to
got
reach.
to go right.
I want to reach. I want to reach and say Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
I kind of want to reach and say Shawn Michaels. 90s ruthless aggression, not Shawn Michaels.
Okay, yeah.
I want to say ruthless aggression, not Shawn Michaels. So yeah, so now can you put up the picture of the other Rocky Romero and Conan for me, please, to get to my point? All right, so as we know, and I have tweeted about it, the beef between CMLL and Triple A. We have Rocky Romero, which he is the booker and also a part of the committee with CMLL. He is doing a wonderful job making sure that CMLL is included in the Forbidden Door. He's also stated that he is really, really trying to get to the point where CML wrestlers and AAA wrestlers can wrestle together in AEW. Probably just AEW only is very difficult, but he is really trying. And I give him kudos to that. Now, I saw people saying, why was CML wrestlers showcased the way that they are, but the AAA wrestlers wasn't showcased how they were? And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, Conan, his mind is not the same as Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero is always thinking for the greater good. Conan is thinking for himself. So,
And his podcast.
yes, he's thinking for himself and his podcast. So, I want to say he used AEW in a way, because I've always said Conan's main goal, he always wanted to be creative for WWE. So he will use, like, okay, yeah, you can have this talent, you can have this talent, you can have this talent. And he didn't, he will go back and be like, you can job this person. You can use this as a jobber. He don't care. Like, speaking for them. As if, like, yeah, they just here for the money. Now, truth be told, some of them, like, I'll say to a testament, Penta have said it before in an interview, like, he's just having fun. He's focusing on getting his daughter prepared for Lucha Libre, because she's, he's been training her and things like that. And Ray Phoenix, he just got hip replacement. So, it won't be long for him. Bandito, he just got done with a second wrist surgery, Commander, and things like that. So Conan never thought of the actual wrestlers. It was more of, it's getting us out there and we're going to get more money. Prior to Rocky Romero, it's just like, I'm thinking for the greater good of the wrestlers, because I want the world to see what CMLL can offer. And Conan didn't come in that approach when it comes to AEW. It's the same way that he does with Impact. Like, hey, I got these jobbers for you. It's an easy payday for him. Like, hey, you could, sign these person. They could job for you anytime. Prior to Rocky Romero, it's just like, I mean, if they're going to do that, at least let them show how they are. Like, show them how tough they are, because CMLL is about, the difference between CMLL and AAA. CMLL is like, if you're going to use my wrestlers, like, or we ain't never coming back to this ever again. Or it's going to be beef forever. And AAA, because the Conan is just like, use my wrestler. I don't care what you do with them. We getting TV time.
Free my boy El Hijo de Vikingo.
I don't care what you do with it. Yeah, they could do that. I don't care. So that is the difference between that and that. And then I think, and you could tell too, Tony Khan is kind of being careful with that, because he don't want to overshadow the Lucha Libres that he has signed to AEW. Don't want it to be like, I care more for the CMLL Lucha Libre than I do you guys, because, even after that match, he had Penta booked. What was that? Was that a Rampage match? It was a match that he had Penta booked, that he had Penta to win and stuff like that. And then, of course, Roosh was tweeting, but I'm just like, Roosh, now, you left on a bad note with CMLL because Roosh was just like, I'm healed up, I'm ready. Because he saw the match. It was just like, okay, they not about to show us up. But CMLL executives they probably told them, look, y'all going to AEW, show them that them AAA stars ain't got shit on us. The beef is forever. They probably told them that. They was like, go up there and show them that they not messing with us. The beef between CMLL and AAA is so intense and it's so long. Like, that's why I'm giving kudos to Rocky Romero for even trying. He wants this to happen because it's been brought up so many times. Like, we want to see, these people in the ring with each other. And the wrestlers want to wrestle because they're still friends at the end of the day. They all are still friends with each other. It's not like if we beefing with them, they're all friends. They all hang out and stuff like that. They just cannot wrestle each other because of the beef with the executives. So he's really, really trying. So he's saying, like, we working on it. We trying to see if we can make this happen. We trying to come up with this deal. Right. If they do, it'll probably be if CMLL wrestles a AAA wrestler, the AAA wrestlers can't win. That's probably what it'll end up being anyway. They cannot win.
It could be 50-50. Who knows?
Yeah, it'll be 50-50. The only person that probably can't wrestle, they probably like, as long as Roosh can't, Roosh cannot wrestle none of our wrestlers. And if you don't know the story, it's Roosh, his daddy, and his brother. The story was it was a big fight backstage. Roosh daddy, they jumped somebody. I don't know who they jumped. They beat up somebody back there and they was banned. They couldn't come back. So yeah. Roosh has a reputation, okay? Especially his father. That's why it took a little minute. Tony Khan probably had to tell him, look, we will sign you, but your daddy cannot come back here, okay? He can't. He cannot. And that's why, Triple H got Dragon Lee how he did, because Conan, he did it in a slick way. Like, if you sign him, could I, Triple H probably like, if you get us Dragon Lee, we'll get you a job. And it didn't end up happening because when they said that Conan represented Dragon Lee and not his father, I was like, they must have did that while his father wasn't there, because if his father was there, it would have been a totally different story. And we know Triple H ain't want nothing to do with La Batista at all. He didn't want that smoke. He didn't want nothing to do with that. That's something totally different. That man probably would have jumped over the table. You about to do what with who? With my son? No. Nope. No. So CMLL, we shall be expecting more of CMLL and AEW, but I just want to give a brief background on CMLL. They are, like I said, they are one of the oldest wrestling promotions in the world. Lucha Libre is probably one of the oldest style of wrestling ever. They started off, they say it, it started off in Germany a little bit and then migrated, and Mexico just changed it, into them, like in their way, their customs. But put some respect on CMLL. People have always complained because they felt like CMLL never wanted to branch out to please Americans and stuff like that. And that's how it should be. Like, that's their culture. We should learn to embrace other people's cultures. They shouldn't have to change anything to please us. And that's why I like the showcasing that they did, how they did it with the Bryan Danielson match. Bryan Danielson didn't, he didn't adjust to Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson adjusted to him. That's how it should be. Not a lot of wrestlers know how to do that and understand that. And that was always the problem with Lucha Libre. I got El Santo behind me. And even when El Santo was in NWA, as big of a star that he is and was in Mexico, and when he wrestled in NWA, it was times that, the stars that he wrestled against, they complained, this man, he's stiff. He hits too hard. He's this and he's this and he's this. instead of adjusting to his way, they had, they always forced lucha libres to adjust to American style wrestling. They've done it to Rey Mysterio. They kind of did it with Dragon Lee. You have to, people have to understand that even with Joshi wrestling, it's okay to adjust to different cultures and different style of wrestling. Not everything has to, like, American style wrestling is not the end all be all. It's just that we are probably the most mainstream wrestling. Like, it gets everywhere. That's it. But as far as American style wrestling, and I don't even think American have a legit way of wrestling. Me personally, I feel like American style wrestling is whatever Vince McMahon created. That's American style wrestling, and that doesn't define all wrestling, and it shouldn't define all wrestling. So that's the one thing I do give credit to AEW for, when because we have is different styles of wrestling in AEW, and people either learn or adjust or welcome, or because it's when
Complain.
AEW started. When they did start having the Triple A wrestlers into AEW, people started watching the Triple Manias. And now that we have CMLL in AEW, people are going to probably most likely start watching CMLL's pay-per-views. Even though they do gatekeep their wrestling for a reason, to keep their tradition, their culture alive. That's always been their thing. They don't want to just yes, they don't want to adjust to y'all. Y'all have to adjust to us. That's what everything.
Crybabies.
They're not going to promote in a way that you see fit. If you're interested in CMLL, come to us. We'll, here's some food. Here, sit down. Because it's most likely it's going to lead to AEW having something at Arena Mexico. In Arena Mexico, fans are very different than American fans. Very different. You're going to hear a lot of bullhorns everywhere.
And big shout outs to Rocky, because the way he does his partnerships with CMLL, and then he did the same thing with New Japan. Rocky the damn GOAT.
Yeah, Rocky is going to go down in history for probably being one of the best. I wouldn't call him a promoter. He's more like, I would say, like an agent.
Yeah. Big F you to Conan, though. So
yeah. Conan is you're losing the top stars at AAA. Is Maricela, you need to kind of get rid of this guy. He's messing up what your father built, obviously. But
didn't Ikengo resign not too long ago?
He resigned, but he is willing to drop the title because he's trying to make a name for himself, and it's like, I want to wrestle at AEW, because if he was still having a title, they weren't going to allow him to wrestle at AEW. He has to do the Impact partnership, and he probably like, I want to be with my friends. My friends at AEW.
AEW than TNA, not jacking nothing on TNA. But
he like, my friends are over here. I want to be with my friends.
But Conan is not doing anything.
He's not the man for the job. But I mean, they still gonna make their money, because Triple Mania is a big event in Mexico. They still gonna always make their money because of Triple Mania. But the booking in AAA, and also just the politics, what's going on, is way worse than what we're seeing that's happening in the States. Mexico's politics is something totally different. Like, it's like families involved in very complex ways. So it's just a lot going on.
I tried to tell y'all.
Mm-hmm. Like, I told them, they was just like, oh, they signed Alberto Del Rio. I'm like, of course they did. You know who his father is. They was gonna sign him. Of course they was. And he probably gonna be the champion. But he gets a pop out there. He's a star out there in his home country. He's a star out there. They don't. And I told people, I'm like, they do not care what happened in the States. If it happened to an American girl, they don't care about that stuff. And unfortunately, they don't be caring about women at all. I mean, that's just what it is, unfortunately. But they don't care what he did in America. He didn't do it in Mexico, so they do not care. They don't care. They're gonna still pop for him. White woman, oh, I don't. That's how they feel. I'm not saying that it's right, but that's their mindset. Oh, well, it was a white woman, so okay.
Mexico is ruthless. My homeboy from Mexico. So
They ruthless. We're gonna say yes. We're gonna save you, Psycho Clown. Now, if I'm telling you now, if Psycho Clown walk out of AAA, then they gonna panic because that's they John Cena right there. That's they John Cena. If Psycho Clown just be like, you know what, I'm done. They're gonna be, oh my god, something's got to give. If you're probably yes, if you're very problematic, you can work a lucha. All you got to do is wear a mask. Truly, like you can work a luchasaur because if it happens in the States, they do not care. They don't care. Okay, well, whatever. Okay. So that is my education. That was the topic. It was more informative, this show. I just wanted to just give like a highlight in the background of what to expect out of CMLL. But again, follow Lucha Blog. He's the best person to follow when it comes to Lucha Libre. He has most of the insights. He always posts the matches and where you can find them. He's very informative in it. He was under one of my tweets because somebody was trying to argue me down and about something, and he was like, "No, she's right." I'm like, "Thank you." I felt like, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'm like, see, Lucha Blog said I was right, so you cannot tell me. Well, you can't tell me nothing after that, because I be knowing too a little bit. But
yeah, stop taking wrestling so serious. We just
yeah,
enjoyed it. Let's stop. Let's
just
stop.
enjoy it.
The people in the comments, her comments, my comments. Stop taking wrestling so serious. Like this is not your livelihoods. We're all fans of wrestling.
At the end of the day, we are all fans. Nobody is a greater fan. Just because you have more followings or more pools or nothing like that, it means nothing, okay? So before we get out of here, Reg, what was your match of the week?
Big Swerve and RVD. I don't know. Like I said, something about Swerve. That nigga does it for me. He Swerve just does it for me. Any
I know
Swerve
that
match I'm
part.
so interested in.
Well, my match of the week was Brian Danielson versus I can't even say that. I
I'm
can't
about
say his
to
name right now.
say,
Hechicero. I said it. That was my match of the week this week. Again, congrats again to Brian Keith Bounty Hunter on the sign to All Elite. It was amazing seeing his journey from the start to here, especially the Texas Indies, the day ones. We've seen him rise to the grind. It's been a journey. It's been amazing. I have sponsored a good amount of his matches out here in Texas, and I am very proud. And to see him finally get the flowers that he deserved and move on to his wrestling journey. Um, Make sure y'all tune in to Dynamite this week, and also Collision. Dynamite should be a good week this week. We are getting closer to Revolution. We are 3 weeks away. Should be a great pay-per-view. It should make up for World's End because we know World's End was a bummer, but it should make up for it.
I can't wait.
I am so excited. I'm so excited. It is Sting's last match. I am going to be so emotional. That is my icon. I love Sting. He's one of the greatest baby faces of all time. I'm going to miss him. He said yes, I'm going to miss him. I'm going to probably cry. I don't know. Check on me. But y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe. Super Bowl week is this week. Who is you rooting for? Who you rooting
Yeah,
for?
I told I was telling my boss this earlier. I don't care who wins. I'm a New England Patriots fan.
Oh
I'm like
girl.
Kansas City Chiefs. It's like watching the Patriots in the Super Bowl every single year. So I mean, I want the 49ers to win, but like,
You don't
yeah,
think Purdy gonna do it?
nope. Big
Oh,
Glock 30. I don't. The last two games, he just Glock 30 ain't do it for me.
mm,
They shouldn't have won last game. I think Detroit should have won, but they just gave up and San Fran came back. But you never know.
Never know. Never know. I mean, I said, I was like, maybe Purdy would take what Cam Newton said recently personal and probably just go out there and we probably ain't never seen, because the last game, the second half, I've never seen him play like that. I was like, he was playing a little bit aggressive. He was running and stuff like.
If they play like that, the start of the game, they'll win. If they defense come out swinging, they'll win. Yeah, let's go Niners, I guess.
Yes, play the Whedon boys real quick because I got on.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved?
We forever them boys. I just, you know what I'm saying? We got drama going on, but shout out to the 49ers fans up in here and the Chiefs fans up in here. Everybody be safe at the Super Bowl parties. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a good week. And stop sending death threats to people about no Cody, okay? We don't, it's not that serious. Check my voice note. I left my WWE content on Twitter. That's what all you're going to get out of me, okay?
Send a death threat to me. And make sure if you do send a death threat, follow through.
Yeah, I will give you my location. Like,
for real. Make sure you follow through with this death threat.
I will have a chair out there. I will sit out there and be like, I will give you my address. Like, come on. Like,
make sure you're ready to meet your maker that night.
You ain't coming, but you ain't going. Listen, if you come out here, we will greet you with, we will give you come on. It's gonna be some people on the porch waiting on you. They're gonna be out there in the front waiting on you. They're gonna greet you with open arms. You might not come back home. I don't know.
Exactly. I am with the shits.
I'm just saying. All right. But thank you again, Reg, for coming into the show. Make sure y'all follow him. Make sure y'all support him because, like he said, he has something coming up. Thank you for joining me and hit my getaway music.
First of all, there's no such thing as white-collar crime. And there's definitely no such thing as black-on-black crime. Crime is crime. Let me explain something to you. I don't care if you have a white collar or a tank top. If you rob me, I'm going to whoop your ass.